Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming back to the podcast. Today's special guest is Mr. Ron Ammons with the Houston Highland Games Association. He's currently a vice president there. Ron, good to have you on.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Good. So, Ron, let's get started with what got you interested in Scottish culture and ultimately getting involved with the Highland Games Association.
Well, I've been interested in the Scottish stuff for a long time, but my wife was a Scot. That was her family name. She was first generation born here. And then when we moved to Houston, we found out that there were games here. And so we started visiting games not only here, but other locations.
Okay. And so where have your travels taken you as far as going to different Highland games?
Arlington, Decatur, Salado, Tyler, of course here, San Antonio.
Okay.
The main ones.
Okay. And so for people who may not be familiar with the Highland scene around Texas, which are the bigger ones and what's the appeal to go to some of these games?
The largest one right now is the one in Decatur. That's the Texas Scottish Festival. Probably second largest is either going to be Sherman or Salado.
Oh, okay.
Salado's the oldest.
Oh.
They were the first. We were the second.
Okay.
We started in 1971.
1971. So let's go into the history, of the Houston Highland Games Association. So it started in 1971. Who were, as far as you know, who were some of those early members, and I guess sort of the emphasis of getting something started here in Houston?
It originally began with a group called the Heather and Thistle Society. It got to a point to where it was more, they felt like it was more than they could handle by themselves. So a group got together and created the Houston Highland Games Association. And we took over, I think, in 77.
77, okay. Okay. And do you have any information there as far as where the first Highland Games may have been held?
The first were held at the A-Leaf High School football stadium.
Oh, okay.
And then the Pin Oak Stables for a while, then Rice Stadium, Fort Bend Fairgrounds, some of the earlier locations.
And over the last several years, of course, we have to exclude the couple of years for COVID. Have you seen a steady increase in all things Scottish, or has it kind of remained consistent over the years?
It has its ups and downs. The best year was the year Braveheart came out.
Oh, of course.
I think we all saw, everybody wanted to be Scottish then.
Right.
Right now, I know we're seeing an increase. I think a couple of the other games are also seeing it. Sherman is showing a big increase, and I think Decatur is. So there's several of us who are starting to show some increases again in the Scottish culture.
Okay. And I'm sure you've talked to many people that come in and out of the games and in the out of the organization. What seems to be the big appeal? Would you find that most people have some sort of tie into Scottish culture, or could it be people who are just interested in kilts, or what are you finding there?
A lot of it has to do with people who have Scottish ancestry. They want to find out what it was like, find out their clans, what clan they're a member of, or could join, whatever. Some people come just because they're interested in, like you say, bagpipes, the Scottish dress, the athletics is a huge draw.
Oh, okay. Okay. So if someone has never been to a Highland Games before and they're maybe considering coming to one, whether it's one in Houston or maybe they want to travel to one that you've talked about earlier in this interview, what might they experience?
They will see clans. There's groups that represent the various clans or Scottish families. I myself represent the Red River branch of Clan Cameron. So they'll see the different clans. There's vendors that sell a lot of Scottish and Celtic merchandise. They will see some of the events actually have Scottish food. Other events will have, of course, the athletics, Highland dancing, piping, and then different Scottish entertainers.
Okay. And would you, Ron, would you say that as far as the music is concerned and the Highland dancing is concerned, whether it's pipes or other things, do you see that growing, or is it tapered off, or is it sort of stayed the same over the years?
It seems to be I guess it's growing. I know we've had quite a few in our competitions, our piping competitions have seemed to be going. The athletics is really going. We've got groups around that do practice all during the year in the Houston and Beaumont area. And so we're working with them to get some of those guys and gals involved in the athletics. So that's really growing part of it.
Okay. Now, the athletic side of these Highland Games, are they sanctioned through some sort of regulating Scottish athletic body, or is it just sort of confined to the festival itself? It's just an event offering?
No, most of them are sanctioned. These athletes are going for points, particularly the higher levels. They're going for points where they can attend national or international competitions.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay.
Same thing with dancers and pipers. They go through the similar things.
Okay. Well, me being an Irish dance teacher, I can relate to the, having to do certain things to qualify for other competitions.
Right.
I'm assuming it's along the same lines of that.
Yeah, it's similar. It's similar.
Oh, very good. So let's talk about the organization itself. So what do you guys have coming up in the next maybe, say, 6 months?
Okay, in the next 6 months, we will have on July the 13th, I believe it is, we have our annual meeting where we elect new officers. Half of our officers rotate, half 1 year, half the next year. That will be on the 13th. That's going to be a Zoom type meeting. Hopefully in August, we're planning, instead of maybe having a meeting, we're going to have a get together at one of the pubs.
Okay.
We try to do that at least every other month, is to meet at a pub and just kick back and relax and have a little fun.
Right.
But that one is going to be, so hopefully that people and members can meet up and talk to the new officers. So we'll be doing that in lieu. Right now, we're planning on doing that in lieu of a meeting. February, we should be having a solo piping competition that will be held at St. Thomas. That's in the works. It hasn't been finalized yet, but that is in the works.
Okay.
That would include professional pipers competing.
Okay.
And then our next major event will be October the 13th. That's going to be our next Highland Games.
Okay. Now, where will that be held?
At the Humble Civic Center and Arena in Humble, Texas.
Okay. And do you have specific times and dates ironed out yet, or is it still pending?
Right now, we're looking at the 13th, which is a Saturday. If we can get things worked out, we may go to a 2-day event. It's just depending whether or not we can get the funding to do that.
Right.
But we are for sure going to be a 1-day event. We will have piping. Right now, we're planning on having dancing competition for the first time in several years.
Oh, very good. Are there many Highland dance schools around or associations around?
There are a few. I think most of our competitors come from St. Thomas High School.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay.
But I understand that there are some dance instructors around town.
Okay. Well, very good. So is there going to be a charge for admission, or talk about how people can get tickets, et cetera?
Okay. For the Highland Games, there will be a charge for admission. Our last 2 games, it was $5 to get in. We haven't set the price for the next event yet. As far as the piping competition in February, that's free except for the professional competition. There'll be a slight charge for that. Okay.
And is there looking out a little further, maybe even past 6 months, is there anything coming up after the Highland Games?
Just our get-togethers.
Okay.
Our meetings. And there is a possibility we may be helping some of these guys who are trying to train other athletes, helping them out by giving them a little bit of support that we can.
Okay.
Going out and helping them with that.
Right. That sounds good. So if people want to learn more or join the Houston Highland Games Association, what do they need to know, and where's that information at? Okay.
The information to join is on our website. It's Houston Highland Games Association. There's a place on there where you can fill out the forms and pay via PayPal. Our cost or for an individual is $15. A couple is 21. Patrons is 75, and the life membership is 1,000. If also you want to make a donation or something to help, which is all greatly appreciated, you go to the same location. And we also do have a Facebook page.
Okay. All right. So what's the appeal? If you could, I guess, maybe say something to anyone that may be interested, have a little interest in Scottish culture or just kind of Celtic culture, if you will. What's the appeal? Why should they come and join and participate in the Highland Games?
This is our opportunity to show the importance of the Celtic culture, particularly the Scottish culture. It's a chance for people to find out about their heritage, to kind of see what things were like, to sample Scottish wares, sample Scottish food.
Very good. Okay. Well, that sounds good. Well, Ron, I appreciate you coming on, and we're going to get all that information out there, and hopefully you'll have some new members coming there and some more people frequenting the Highland Games. I look forward to maybe
Sure. Thank you for doing this.
Absolutely.
Thank you for doing this.